Welcome back again to another episode of Let's Talk Shop. This is the second part of our ongoing series about the media. My name is David Kirby.
And I'm someone else.
His name's John Burton.
My name's John Burton.
Anyway,
hey David.
Yo.
Let's talk shop.
Yeah. Sounds like a great idea.
Alright. You know, I think a lot of writers, when they're constructing a story and they're coming up with characters, they want sort of to display some sort of growth, some sort of overcoming of adversity. And I think it's easy to kind of just slap a disability on a character and have them overcome it in some fantastic way and call it a day. Say, there's your arc, there's your evolution of character. And besides being, I think, sort of lazy character development, it kind of reduces the idea of being disabled to just a plot device. It's not just a plot device, you know?
Yeah, and then there's also the other case, on the opposite side of the argument, or spectrum, I guess, where the disability is not a plot device, and there's a character with a disability, but it's very incidental to the plot, or to the character, where they would react, could be involved in the action, just as much as, a character without a disability.
Right, and that's kind of a more, besides more accurate.
Yeah.
It's also, it's just better literature, you know?
Yeah, I think what you're trying to get at is, if it's a plot device, the concept of having a disability is solely sort of related to, the tragic aspect, or, as a tragedy, or as a challenge to overcome, right? And sort of, very one-dimensional, makes disability into that sort of one-dimensional thing.
Yeah, it's like you're kind of shoehorning this narrative, this art, where it doesn't belong, and you're creating a solution that doesn't exist to a problem you don't fully understand. And it's just lazy writing.
So, what do you think would be a good example of disability being used as a plot device?
Okay, so I guess maybe sort of a more current example. Let's do an easy example first.
One example?
Something simple. How about...
The autism makes you smart.
Yeah, it's kind of there's this trope in a lot of movies where, I think it kind of started with Rain Man, where a main character has like autism, or is on the spectrum to some degree, and perhaps doesn't socialize well, and despite this, they show a great degree of aptitude for things like math or science, or very complex skills, but they're very well versed in them. Show amazing off the charts performance in them.
And I think there is an element of truth there with a lot of people on the spectrum will be really interested in sports and know a bunch of sports stats or something, but what you're describing is more than that.
Yeah. I don't want it is based on something real. Rain Man was based on a real person, who really could do incredible math calculations mentally very quickly, but the fact that is such a large portion of the characters we see on movies and television, it's not an accurate representation. It's not an accurate cross section. It's wrong to expect that someone with autism will show such high aptitude for math or memorization.
Yeah, I believe there's a new show that just started on TV called The Good Doctor.
Yeah.
Where he could diagnose things and perform surgeries that no one else can do, or
Right, I haven't seen that.
kind of like MacGyver's stuff for people.
Yeah, have you seen that?
My parents like it. I don't know. I haven't seen
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, it makes for good television, but I think it should be acknowledged that it's fiction. It's not. I think it's fiction. To be honest, I haven't seen it myself either. But
I mean, even the case of Rayman, it's a plot device where his intelligence drives the story forward.
yeah, it's okay if it's like, if it's based on a real person, you can't have him not have those qualities. But the fact is, there aren't that many people with autism who don't have those abilities being represented in media. It kind of creates this false narrative. But let's do $1 Million Baby too. Yeah.
So $1 Million Baby came out a couple years ago.
Spoiler alert one more time.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Spoiler alert.
Yep. Alright, go on.
So Hilary Swank plays kind of a lower class, sort of very impoverished young girl, but she dreams of being a professional boxer. And Clint Eastwood is a coach who ends up coaching her. Starts off as the typical underdog sports story, almost like a Rocky for girls. Then, at one of the big fights, she's fighting another girl who sort of is a dirty fighter. And cheap shots her after the bell's over, falls and hits her head, or hits her neck on the side of something. A stool, maybe?
Yeah.
The stool that they sit on in the corner. Breaks her neck and is paralyzed now. And the main point of the movie, the main climax, occurs at the end of the movie, where Hilary Swank's character is depressed that she can't be a boxer anymore. It basically tells the coach, I don't want to live anymore. I can't be a boxer. What else is there? I'm paraphrasing, but that's the idea. And then he, unplugs her ventilator and...
Yeah. So actually, I personally haven't seen the movie. We actually just watched the ending, and David kind of filled me in on some of the plot details. So take my take on this with a grain of salt, because I haven't seen the whole thing. But here's my 2 cents. I think that, it's kind of the same and kind of different from Me Before You. This came out a few years before, I think, right?
It came out like 05.
05, yes. So several years before. Yeah, so I think there's a few differences we should point out. In this case, Clint Eastwood, the trainer, the decision to end her life is kind of in his hands. She appears to be pretty set on it, for most of it I can see. Very little doubt in her mind. So kind of the struggle, the decision, the conflict lies with him, to push her to continue onward, or, to not, and just fulfill her wish. And you said, did he play her father, or?
No, I think he was just a coach.
Just a coach? Okay, yeah. But yeah, so, still, maybe kind of a father figure for her. They've been together a long time, there's a deep personal connection.
It's portrayed as like he made the right decision.
Yeah, like it was an act of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And he was obviously very broken hearted about it. He does go through with it, if you haven't picked up on that. And, it's hard to tell whether there's regret or whether he's content with his decision. The movie just kind of ends, and I think that is kind of pivotal as to how we should take this, which I mean, suicide's a touchy subject, I get that.
I mean, it is kind of, it bases it on a true to life thing that a newly acquired paralysis is normally also accompanied by depression and sort of their own value system is no longer valid for the new situation.
Right, you have to reshape yourself, your whole identity, she can't box anymore, that was her identity as a boxer.
Yeah.
So she has to find something new.
But it's sort of like, she feels bad now.
Yeah.
And wants to die now, but, it just happened.
Yeah.
Her accident just happened, like, give it a few months, let her go through some therapy and such. Don't just kill her off just because she's all emotional.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and the fact is, people, it takes a lot of work to try to rebuild yourself, and that's, kind of where the depression sets in.
See, I even think, in the context of the movie, she's a fighter, she's scrappy, she's pulled herself out of poverty, wouldn't it make more sense for her to keep fighting in this situation too?
Yeah,
that was just my thought.
It feels like that would fit her character more. So again, we come back to the coach. Does he enable her, or does he recognize this for what it is? A temporary, albeit a very big setback, but a temporary setback.
Like I mentioned before, we also have disability portrayed in the complete opposite way, which is it's incidental to the plot. There's a character with disability, they're represented in the story, but it really has no bearing on it. They could easily take the person out, make them not disabled, and the story would be pretty much the same. So we go through a few examples of that, and I realized that our examples we came up with are all comedies, and there's a whole other can of worms we could go into about how do you portray something comedically without being offensive, but I think we're gonna save that for another day and just talk about the characters and how their disabilities are portrayed as incidental to the plot. We're gonna start off with Family Guy and the character of Joe.
Joe is, for those of you who haven't seen the show, is the main character's neighbor. He has paraplegia. He is in a wheelchair. Yeah, so he's a cop, and, he's just like one of the guys in the show. Not like one of the main characters, but not really a background character. He's not a terribly complex character. It's not a terribly complex show. It's just slapstick humor and pop culture references. Joe is as complex as any of the other characters, which is not very. So he's consistent within the universe of the show.
The way they do his character on the show, his disability is incidental to the plot. So the writers make the episode, they come up with the ideas, the jokes, the scripts, and then they added the fact that he's disabled later. Which is I kind of like, because it sort of doesn't make it a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So the writing is not limited by it. No situation or plot point is avoided because logistically having a character in a wheelchair wouldn't fit. They insert it into the plot anyway and make it work, even if it creates a ridiculous situation, which often will, add more humor, which is ultimately what they're going for. So, for example, There was an episode where Joe is directing a play, and he's trying to demonstrate a dance, and he just kind of, other people move his legs for him.
Yeah, he's like hanging from a bar, and he's got these two stagehands, like, they got the little, I don't know what you call it, like a pole wrapped around his ankles. And,
like a little hook on his
yeah, it's very, visual gag comedy. Yeah.
Like we were saying, there's episodes that take place in the time periods, and like he'll be on a horse, or riding on like a big turtle or something. They had one where it was like caveman time, and he was just sitting on a big turtle. Anyway, to add to the point of disability being incidental and not having an effect on the plot, is he still a policeman in the show, even though he's in a wheelchair?
I haven't seen a new episode about it.
Well, and even the early ones, I think he was still a cop, even though he was like paralyzed.
Yeah, it's like you can ask, does Homer still work the nuclear power plant? That's sort of a running gag, because it's like, they don't really show, those cartoon sitcoms. They don't show them like, I don't know, I'm kind of getting on occasion here, but like, it's not about their everyday lives. They're getting into like weird, wackier situations.
You gotta set up the foundation and
so it's like details like, oh, is he still a cop? Well, the writers are like,
well, the point is,
Trump's
like,
doing this, so.
It's the disability so incidental that they still make him a cop in the show. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. I mean, well, again, you have to approach from a comparison to the other characters. Does Peter does he still work at the,
toy factory?
No, he was fired early on. He worked for, like, the brewery or something. He was, like, a fisherman.
Alright, dude, we're getting too much on tangents.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, to kind of stick to the point, like, relative to the other characters, he's as involved in his job as, say, Peter is in his job. So, it's not like he's being excluded or being shoehorned into inclusion. He's as involved as anyone else.
Okay.
So I think that, I think it's a fair portrayal. I would agree with you.
Okay. The next one on the list is Jimmy from South Park.
So, for those of you who aren't familiar with the show, South Park is known for being a bit raunchy. Basically, it's centered around this group of kids who live in Colorado, and they go on these weird adventures with lots of pop culture references and current events, things like that. So Jimmy is a classmate of one of these kids. Yeah, but Jimmy has, I believe, cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
Is that correct, CP?
He walks with those cane crutch things.
Yeah.
That like hook to your arms.
Yeah. And he's a comedian, a stand-up comedian in the show. He's a kid, like the main characters. They all go to the same school.
Oh, I mean, that's how South Park is.
Yeah.
It puts the kids in adult situations.
Right.
That's just...
Jimmy,
like he's developed more.
Jimmy has an arc, He's placed in a lot of the same, sometimes tense, over the top, sometimes life-threatening situations that the kids get themselves into. He's very involved in the show's action. He's not a side character. He's not like a token character. He's one of, I would say, the main crew of the Soul Kids.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, his impairments are incidental. So, he'll walk around on his arm crutch things, but he keeps the same pace with the other kids for, say, walking down the hall. But the other characters don't really ever mention it either.
Yeah.
Like, he does the different, he'll walk differently or take longer to talk, but the other kids just flows in with the conversation.
Yeah.
So, our last example was the character of Stevie from Malcolm in the Middle.
Okay, yeah.
Now, I know Malcolm in the Middle isn't as popular of a show as the other two. Well, I think we should first describe what the character is and what he looks like and stuff. Just for those that haven't seen him.
Yeah.
So, what do you think he has? I don't know if it really ever...
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe, MS, maybe?
Yeah, I think he has...
Maybe some kind of ataxia.
He might have some form of muscular dystrophy. I don't know what.
They never really say exactly what his diagnosis is.
So, he is in a wheelchair, and sort of the defining characteristic is the way he talks. So he kind of has a difficult time talking, like, sort of he'll take a breath in between each word, sort of like,
yeah.
And then you talk like this. So, and then he's also, so he's classmates with the main character, Malcolm. He's their friend. And they introduce different aspects of having a disability through Malcolm's eyes. Seeing Stevie in his home life or in school.
I would really compare Stevie to Jimmy in South Park. I think they're pretty similar in terms of how the show handles them.
Yeah.
In terms of their role in the show and their interactions with the other characters.
So going along with our same theme, disability is incidental. In one episode, they break into like a carnival after it's closed.
Yes.
And
that's a good one.
They get them in and out of the rides. They kind of, when they're getting chased, security guard, like one of the other guys is pushing him.
Yeah.
So it's sort of all.
So then, his chair gets stolen too, doesn't it? And they push him around and
Yeah, the security guard catches him.
Yeah.
If I remember.
Yeah.
Or there's another episode where they're on vacation in a houseboat, and they go on the lake on inner tubes, and they have Stevie in one of the tubes, and they have his wheelchair on top of another tube, inner tube is dragging it along, so it's sort of an incidental part of the show that they still have to be how would that work?
Yeah.
His character is just incidental to the plot. But he's still a developed character.
He is.
He has arcs, he changes.
Yeah. Malcolm in the Middle is I would say, a bit more deep in his content than, either of the other two. In terms of character development. He has an arc. I think all the characters in Malcolm in the Middle have some kind of arc.
Yeah.
And Stevie's included in that too.
So I think Stevie's really sheltered at first.
Yeah.
His parents are very overprotective.
Right.
So first only Malcolm goes right and everything's very regimented and scheduled. But then as time goes on, Stevie goes to spend the night at their house. He's starting to become more independent, more rebellious.
Yeah, and this all happens over, several seasons.
What do you think? Is disability better as sort of a plot device to move the story forward, or is it better to be incidental, where you could take it or leave it?
Do you agree with our take on it? Do you disagree? Let us know.
If you like what you hear, we would love to hear your feedback. So if you listen to this on SoundCloud or YouTube, please subscribe, give us a like, a comment, if you have any thoughts. And also check out the Facebook page, see our mission, and what we're all about. The link to that will be in the description.
David Kirby, signing off.
And John Burton also signing off. This is Let's Talk
Shop.